Dosha Maragua, Dishkag Nahudosha, Nitawehudosha, I'm Cannupa Hanska Luger. I am Awache, Dripping Earth clan from the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara tribes. I'm also Lakota, and I'm from North America in the United States in a place called New Mexico. So today I'm grateful that you all came by, and I want to talk about this body of work. In general, as a full installation, we call it Mihatmak, or a way home. And what we are seeing here is the kind of object progression of me exploring my customary ceramic practices. It was very interesting to me as an indigenous North American artist to be presenting here at the Aichi Ceramic Museum, Aichi Prefectural Ceramic Museum, because there was this body of work in particular is exploring some of our customary ceramic practices that had been lost for 200 years due to smallpox. And so my exposure to these forms of pottery were always behind glass and in museums and in places where I had to put on the white cotton gloves to engage with the work of my very own ancestors. So in this instance, I got to present this work once again behind glass in a vitrine. And then beyond the glass, I was interested in sharing with you all the relationship with the land from which I come from. And kind of emphasize this idea of the distance that actually takes place between the glass and the people experiencing the cultures that's on the other side of it. And so beyond this glass is an entire world that actually informs the objects that are created in this space. So what we're actually looking at is a step-by-step process of me beginning to learn some of our customary ceramic forms by coming to this place, which is where our clay was harvested. Just below this black line of coal is all clay, and we would gather that clay from that area, but because I didn't know how we made our clay bodies, I had to pay attention to the land and what materials were in relationship to where we gathered our clay. And so the bowls on the far ends, moving towards the center, are the materials from the region, and then how we began our pots, what our pots look like in the middle stage, and then a fully completed piece. And then you'll also see the tools that are used for it, which is similar to this region, a tataki, or tataki, paddle and anvil technique. And what we're presented with then is the progression of the land's materials into the forms that we create, and in the center here is a representation of the land itself. So the land for me became a teacher. The actual materials and minerals I needed to understand, it was though the knowledge of our ceramic practice was held in the clay. And there was something really profound about my own personal growth through the process of exploring this body of work, but that the land kind of like remembered me and my culture. And I'm interested in how this moves from being lost for 200 years into becoming a part of our customary traditions into the future. And I think this is why this landscape figure is presented lying down and resting, waiting for us to find that knowledge once again. So in this instance, I used cordage. You'll notice at the tops of our completed bowls, we use cord, which is also represented here with some of the tools to create the design and pattern. I was interested in really kind of like talking about not knowing exactly where this land of my ancestors ends and the land that I'm presently on in Japan begins, that we are on an entire globe and that clay has moved throughout the world before us. And so creating this figure using cordage and creating cordage, I actually broke down blankets that kept my family warm and dip them in slip from this region. So in this way, I like to express the importance of how our survival and where we maintain and hold our traditions and cultures are these anchors to the land, and that the best knowledge to the land are the peoples from that place, but that this can be shared throughout time. And because it's about also time, my son is reading the letter that I wrote to the land itself, my older son, and my younger son made some of the little animal figurines while I was in the studio building the pots. So there is an intergenerational relationship to it. And I feel like that this is Mihatmak, this is a way home. Arigato.